Hi, I'm Mahadev Gursev, full stack Java trainer. Today we are going to see how to create a class and the object of that class. So before creating an object, a class is required. That is, a class should be created. So I'm sharing the screen. So I'm creating a class known as a sample, a basic class known as a sample. That is public class sample. Public is an access specifier. Okay. So if I want to create a class, I would write a keyword as a class. If you use a keyword named as a class, in the class name, I'm creating a class known as calculator, which is used to perform some arithmetic operation. At present, I want to create a class which has a method which performs addition of two numbers. So before creating an addition, what I do, I'll create some variables. Since I want to pass a value of integer. Integer is a data type and num1 is a variable. Wherein I'm going to pass some values as 45 and num2 will pass a value as 12. So at this place, I'm creating a variable num1. Num1 is a variable. Variable is nothing but a container which is basically used to store a value. But that container should have some type. That type is of integer. Means I want to store integer value in that container. The container again is a name of a variable. So I'm creating a variable of data type integer wherein I'm going to store a value as 45. Same way, second variable I'm creating a num2 of same variable of data type and storing a value as string. So I'm having two variables. Now, this variable which I've created, I would use this inside the class. So before creating a method, I would like to create an object of that class. So class object is created using class name and the reference of that class. So what it means, as I created a variable num1, the same thing is here. Cal is a variable of type class type, that is calculator. Calculator is a class name. So I'm creating a variable cal is a reference cal of a type class type. Now, how to allocate the memory location to this class? So what I'll do, I will use a new keyword. New keyword is basically used to create a memory location to that class and a constructor. Constructor is a special type of method which is used in Java to initialize the value of a variable at runtime. So whenever an object is created at that time, the values which have been passed to this will be passed to the class. Okay, let's see. Don't worry, we'll see this in detail. Now I'll come to the class known as calculator. In this, I would create a variable as result, res, and pass some values, perform some method, call a method in that. Okay, actually methods are called from the object itself, right? So the object is created using the object reference. I will call a method known as add. But at present, I don't have a method name as add. So that I have to create one. I'm having a method name as add, which returns integer values. I want to return a value of integer. Where the method returns a value, I want to return integer. But again, one problem is that it is not accessible to anyone. So I want to make it accessible as public. So when I specify as public, this method will be accessible from anywhere within the system, or from anywhere it can be accessible. So I have to specify as an access specifier as public. Now, this method has a parenthesis. Okay? So within that parenthesis, I want to create two variables as A and H. So this variable is nothing but known as a parameter. From when I would pass the values from the method code. I will pass that num1, comma, num2. This num1, which already has a value of 45, the same thing, num2, which has value 12. So then I'm calling a method known as add using an object. Okay, object is created when I use a new keyword. Object of a class calculator, that is cal, is created. Okay, so this cal is an object of a class calculator. So using that object, I'm calling a method known as add. So add method is present. So then I'm passing the values, that is an argument. And I'm passing the values that are known as argument. So I'm passing in value to the method. Okay, so num1 is basically having 45 and num2 basically having 12. That value I'm passing to A. This num1, the 45 value is passed to A. Num2, that is 12, is passed to B. Okay, so at this place I'm performing the addition. So what I'm doing, thus equals to A plus B. Right? So this value is return. And so if I want to return it, I return R. That's it. Now this value will be returned back. And now, as soon as it is returned, that value is passed here, and I want to print that one. So what I have to do, system dot out dot print method, which is a predefined method, which is basically used to print the value for you. Okay, so at this place, I'm using a variable which has been passed, that is less. Okay, so as I'm returning a value, I have to use that variable, the same variable at this place. Why? Because when the method is returning the value of addition of two numbers, that will be returned back to the calling place, that is a method call. Okay, so it will be returned back at this place, and that value which has been returned back will be stored in the variable known as rest. Okay, and what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to print using system.println. System.println is a predefined method, and it prints rest on the screen. Okay, so if I run this program, will show an output as, okay, it is having some error, class calculate. Okay, so this class is having some error as C as a capital. Okay, so what I have to do, is a class. Okay? Class is correct.